This place had 500,000 people at it.
Yo, Korn had the crowd jumping.
These dudes had Alanis Morissette performing at a show with Rage Against the Machine.
Bro, people were rolling in shit.
Mosh pit shit.
They told Limp Bizkit and Fred Durst in general to please calm down the crowd, and he said, "Hold my beer."
What did we think was going to happen?
Bro,
Something in the mic
Back
beat.
to another episode of the Blade Sports Culture Show.
You dig?
Groovy episode. A little Woodstock episode. Before we get into the episode, let's thank our sponsors, Nicholson Realty 2.0,
shout out.
Imagine Burgers and Brew,
Shout out.
and above all, construction. Best burgers, construction, and real estate agents on the planet.
Period.
Ever.
Period.
Let's go.
All right, by the, what is it, what do you call it? Like the fit check or the merch, or what do you call it? Like the drip?
Drip check, bro.
Woodstock. All right, this episode is going to be based off Woodstock 99 specifically. We'll talk a little bit about Woodstock 69 and 94, what it was supposed to be, but white people.
That's crazy. Man, I think that was a good way to start it because people are just going to be like, yeah, it's definitely white people.
It's for sure white people.
Okay, let's go.
All right. The first Woodstock, obviously, was held in 1969.
For sure.
When people think of Woodstock, for some odd reason, they just forget about Woodstock 99.
Yeah.
Like, people just don't want to remember it anymore. They think about, like, the peace, the love, the harmony.
I'd never heard of it until 2 years ago.
Jerry Garcia just streaming his guitar, Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Peace, love, and harmony. All right. Fast forward to Woodstock 94. 5 years before Woodstock 99. Same vibes. Everything went according to plan. The worst thing to happen at Woodstock 94 was the rain. And some fences came down. No violence or deaths. It was the last hoorah of the baby boomers.
For sure.
Okay. They replicated the lineup close to Woodstock 69 in terms of peace and harmony. So, they had, like chill artists there.
Yeah, it was definitely the lineup that had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, so let's fast forward to 1999 real quick.
Yeah.
Should we set the stage of, how music was as a whole?
Yeah,
like, where it was going and...
Well, let me ask you this real quick. Do you know how many people came out to that?
Over, I think it was 220,000 people.
I saw 500,000. I saw
It might have been.
I could have been
450,000
for the weekend total.
people.
It might have been.
I believe that, bro.
Yeah,
it
because
was, I still to this day have never seen so many people at a festival or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, because we'll get into it a little bit later, but at one point the entire security team wasn't even a security team. They were just
partying.
No shit.
No,
they were
facts.
Literally sexual favors for come get in the fucking place.
Yeah.
So there wasn't an exact count on people. So you're probably right. It was probably close to half a fucking million.
They got their shirts and then dipped.
Got their shirts.
For real.
They got in for free, so they was working and dipped out.
All right. It was a 3-day festival that was held in Rome, New York in 1999, obviously at an abandoned Air Force base. The base was ideal because it already had everything there.
Yeah.
Like the infrastructure, everything was there. Okay, tickets were pricey, but it was over 100 different artists and bands. And these bands were the top. There was some
definitely top of
filler,
the line
you were
that
talking
time.
about George Clinton and some shit like that, but it was Limp Bizkit, Korn, Metallica, Kid Rock, DMX, who DMX at the time was a mega star.
Oh, yeah.
Mega star at the time. Rage Against the Machine.
Shout out my boy, be honest.
Shout out. Alanis
Sure.
Morissette, Fire, Dave Matthews Band, Creed, everybody. You said Ice Cube was there. I didn't know Ice Cube
Ice Cube was there. I
Yeah,
seen
they
Wyclef, Ice Cube.
Yeah, I just looked at the lineup and they kind of mowed over a lot of the people that were there. They mentioned them and they actually showed Ice Cube on the side of the stage when somebody was performing. Might have been Limp Bizkit, but they didn't in the documentary that's on HBO. They just kind of mowed over a lot of the artists that were there. There were a lot of big ones that they just didn't really mention, but yeah, bro.
And they were performing albums, bro. Can you imagine? Like they literally, like each person was on there for at least an hour.
It was a 24-hour thing. Like it didn't stop.
Yeah,
it didn't.
Like
stop.
they were literally like because I had watched DMX and I watched some of Ice Cube and bro, they were legit performing albums.
Yeah,
like,
I think it depended like your status too a little bit. Like the bigger the act, the more time they had. It's kind of like anything like stand up comedy too. Like obviously if you're the headliner, you're getting more time. It was something.
Sure.
It was something like that too. So
for sure.
Yeah, and like I was going back to like the type of music that was. So it was during a weird time, like MTV. In the documentary, they talk about how MTV was like in a transition period, where they were going from like Nirvana and shit to fucking NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears. You had Carson Daly, who everybody in this crowd hated Carson Daly.
Yeah, they smoked him with shit. He was like doing a commercial spot or something like they would do like before they go to commercial, and they're just like pelting him with shit, bro. He's getting smoked with bottles, trash hitting him. Like they hated him.
Went wrong. I mean, the infrastructure wasn't built right. They were trying to make money. It was the two stages, east and west, were 2.5 miles apart.
What?
No shade. So imagine these kids who were slowly getting dehydrated and angry. It was, the sort of male toxicity.
The crowd at the show is predominantly white males from the ages of 18 to 25. Okay, like so
frat bros, right?
Yeah, so you think of this age group, and you think of the music that they were playing on MTV. They pretty much gave your big brother's music channel to your little sister, and they were pissed the fuck off.
Yeah, that's what dude said in the documentary. They literally took MTV and gave it to your little sister,
Yeah.
which that's I kind of chalk it up too to like a little bit of like even because they pulled a lot of these acts pulled from hip hop. So like you just got through like NWA. Ice Cube stepped into like his next journey after that with what was it, West Coast Connect. So it's like I think that was kind of some of the stuff Ice Cube was performing, but you're stepping out of this like this explosion of hip hop and like fuck the man and that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it was a big transitional
straight
period.
out of Compton, all that
and
shit.
It was also like we talked about this a little bit, like the turn of the century. So like not only just in the music industry, but like everybody, like nobody knows what's going to happen. Right?
Oh yeah.
So like at that time, it's like
tensions are
holy
high and
shit.
everything.
Yeah, we're about to be in the year 2000. Like tensions are high.
Yeah, and they talk about it a lot in the documentary too, kind of how like they just kind of pulled this stuff from hip hop, and it wasn't necessarily like inspirational shit. It was the anger shit. It was the fuck bitches, fuck hoes shit,
right.
and stuff like that they were pulling from it. And a lot of this lineup, kind of what Carl spoke on before, with that was different from that '94 lineup. Was these heavy rock influenced, heavy hip hop influenced,
And it's crazy, bro. They had a guy on the documentary on Netflix. They had a guy that had brought that to somebody's attention.
Yeah, yeah.
And they kind of, ignored him. You know what I'm saying?
Like, it's like, what are we doing here? Like
that's what he said too.
we took, obviously, let's go back to Woodstock '69 and the purpose of it. Right. This was during like the wars and shit, during segregation and all that. This was supposed to be
hippie
like peace.
Yeah.
Combined together.
And to even piggyback off of that, I mean, just think about the festival got that big to a guy just having, a chill festival.
Yeah, it was
guy,
Michael Lang.
Yeah, this
Mike
was
Lang
him
was
just inviting people, not even an event yet. You feel me? It was just, come chill with us, type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Explodes.
It's kind of crazy, bro.
So it's like
money got involved.
It became one big money grab.
Yeah.
Is what I was about to say. And you had these artists. They took your little sister's MTV and shit away. So they're already pissed off. So you had that brewing, and then you had the turn of the century brewing. Bill Clinton had his thing going on at the time.
That was rock music at the time too.
Yeah,
that was just the overall
and
vibe.
Rock and Korn and like artists like Limp Bizkit and Korn, they will get a crowd hype.
And as an artist, that's what you're supposed to do.
I've never seen Limp Bizkit in person, but I've seen Korn in person at Klipsch, and the whole place is booming.
Oh yeah,
booming. Like it's insane.
People going nuts.
You gotta think that's a time to like express yourself. Like you're going to a concert to just
bro,
like let loose and have fun,
Yeah.
And,
I think it's almost like nobody. This isn't like something anybody did on purpose, bro. I think it's just like kind of where we were.
It was the perfect
on Earth at this
storm.
point. That's what I was literally about to say. It's like the perfect storm. I mean, because
it's like real feelings
to think
flaring
about,
out, bro.
To think about like staying true to like what Woodstock was, it was a rock concert. So like you're gonna go with rock artists because the guy that had a huge hand and was a co-founder of the whole Woodstock festival was like
He was a straight hippie.
part of
guy.
the very first one. So it's like he's staying true. So you book all these rock artists, you book some hip hop artists in between, and it's kind of all has this same vibe mixed with the heat of the weekend, and it's a perfect storm, like Carl just said, man.
I'll piggyback off that. Temperatures were exceeding 100 degrees.
Yeah, and they even said like because it was an Air Force base, like the temperatures on the concrete, like on the tarmac, it made temperatures skyrocket even more. So you're
Man,
talking
that
it could be
place was
120,
musty.
130 when you're in a group of people.
So, you know that body heat, bro, is it's crazy, bro.
Especially
Okay,
at cons.
yeah, so we can talk about the conditions. Before we get into the artists and what proceeded like during the mayhem, we can talk about the conditions that also might have led to the mayhem too. Right. Okay, didn't you say a water pipe busted?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I could be wrong,
did.
but
They
I think
had
it was the
some
first,
water or
like
something
within the first couple hours of the first day, a water pipe burst, and then so plumbing, the free water source that was supposed to be available, all just shit.
Oh yeah, and then the vendors, their prices went up on that type of stuff.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
because
You
like
know,
people
it's
got to
crazy.
come to
Yeah,
them.
you
So,
have
like
to.
you said, it's a money
they
pit at
price
this
gouge
point.
But it's
at that
crazy,
point.
bro. Like the whole money situation, the whole thing that changed this, about this money situation thing too, as well, bro. Is you know what I'm saying? When money's involved, you know what I'm saying? It's different now.
Yep.
You know, and with
Got
these
sharks
artists,
out there now, bro.
Yeah, and it's crazy what they were even charging to.
$4 for a bottle of water.
Yeah, you know, like
1999.
In 1999, I paid $4 for a bottle of water right now. I'm freaking out.
I'm like, man, let me get at least 2 for $4.
That's like
like something.
people in the
me the
documentary, like that were there that they had pulled off in the interview. They were like, we came not prepared to spend $4 for a bottle of water, and there's no clean water there.
Right.
So it's just
What
like,
do you do?
what are you going to do?
But it's crazy because like one of those at that time, one of those Woodstock tickets, bro, was like us, watching Jordan
What was it? It was like
and
$250
in
or
the jazz.
$255
You
for
feel me?
general.
But to have that ticket, you was the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Like you got like
I'm going to Woodstock.
Well,
Like,
wasn't it kind of marketed towards like this is like a high end? Not I don't mean
No, yeah,
high
yeah.
end as far as like the
I
scene.
get what you're saying.
Yeah,
No, I'm
it's
with
like,
you,
it
yeah.
was
The
supposed to
package
be-
that you were purchasing
Yeah,
was
it
like
was
a
like
high
this
it was
is
like the
big
Willy
event.
Wonka golden
Yeah,
ticket,
fuck,
bro.
yeah, like,
Like,
this is going to be the time of your life.
fact.
But can we talk about real
So-
quick if we're talking about conditions?
Hold on, I'm going to answer his question right now. Tickets for Woodstock were $150 a piece. So today that was the equivalent of $260 a pop.
a pop.
There were about 400,000 attendees. You're right.
Almost half a million.
Insane.
I mean, that's
What-
just
But the bands, like if you guys watched a little bit of that documentary on Netflix, the bands were charging crazy,
bad.
bro.
Booking them, I'm
they
sure it was insane.
generated
Bro.
$104 million off of ticket sales.
that's
They,
Oh my
I think
God.
that was something I read at the end. Like before they go to the credits, where they show like facts about what happened. They only made like I think it was like $50,000
After
total.
they pay, you pay 100 artists and 100 of the top guys. This shit was like Coachella on steroids.
Oh,
can
facts.
you,
on
can you imagine
steroids.
if like that kind of event like were to happen today? I mean, I feel like
The closest thing is Coachella, and that shit
well,
is
and that
there's so
doesn't even
much
compare
security shit.
because like can we talk real quick too about like the nudity and like just
Oh yeah, that was
like because
crazy.
it's like where are we at today where it's like okay I've seen videos on Coachella and like EDC like that have happened in this past year where like people are like fucking and like
Yeah.
people are freaking out on Twitter like oh
Yeah.
that's wrong like you
Yeah.
should, man these
No, but you gotta
These
understand,
girls
there's
and
drugs.
guys.
There's drugs involved that's turning
yeah.
people
Yeah.
to demons,
right but
bro.
in '99 like guys and girls naked
naked
just
as hell,
just
Yeah.
free and it's like it was like the cool thing
and
to do.
imagine what you didn't see. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
absolutely.
But you gotta understand too. Back at that time, ecstasy, everybody, and then that
yeah,
rage
bro.
came
and
through.
then they had the 24-hour rave.
yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Like what? When was that a part of Woodstock? That's what they were saying. Like this was not Woodstock.
Yeah.
This was just like the year 2000, turn of the century party.
Speaking
And
on
the
that
DJ
water,
was acting surprised and shit. Like, why are these people doing this? Like, bro, you setting it off in this mud. Like,
speaking on that water issue too, like that's what I remember one of the guys like he specifically said like you're 21 in between 18 and 25 years old and there's a water problem and beer's $4 and water's $4.
Facts.
What are you grabbing? I'm grabbing the beer.
And I'm taking the beer, and that's just
Beer.
dehydrating you even
more,
more,
right?
pissing you off.
just ready to turn up.
So, and then the sewage problem. What exactly happened with the sewage? I can't remember.
Well,
It was
it started with the water pipe.
Started with the
So,
water.
so
Okay.
the water pipe burst,
It backed
and then
up.
it backed up all the
Started
porta
flooding
potties,
stuff.
and then so like people are like, you got to imagine it's hot, it's like you're fucked up,
Yeah.
and it's like people see like all this
Water.
water and
Yeah.
this mud,
Yeah.
they didn't realize
Blood
they're
and mud,
fucking
yeah.
mud
Yeah.
wrestling and shit. I saw people rubbing it all over.
Yeah.
Man,
Dude's covered
can
in
you
it, bro.
imagine the
Yeah.
smell at that place.
I can't
dude?
remember the lady's
People
name.
probably was just sick just
Yeah,
from
shout
that,
out
bro.
to her, bro.
Yeah, I can't remember the lady's name that commented on her post and said she was there.
Yeah, she
this
was
lady
there.
said she was there. She says, she said everything that you see in these documentaries and
Doesn't
on
even
these
do it justice.
shows.
Oh.
She said it doesn't do it justice. She says, but it's true. Like everything you hear is true. She said she ended it with I will never forget the smell of that place.
Yeah.
Like I would love to just talk to her.
Yeah.
Just like what I would love to get her on.
We
as a
should have had her
guest,
on.
dude.
Yeah, we
We
should
should
have
have
had
had
her
her
on,
dope.
bro.
That would've been
dropped the
dope.
ball.
That was crazy.
Okay, so that was the sanitation. Obviously, it's all building up. It's just all we're just pissed off. Okay, DMX comes out, right? I mean, this was probably during all of it, getting white people to say the N word, plain as day, plain as day, chanting
Yeah,
it.
literally.
DMX comes out, and then it's like there's like a tension for Limp Bizkit, right? Like everybody was there to see Limp Bizkit.
Oh, bro.
Okay, and this is a time where Limp Bizkit was on MTV every single day. Like he was the biggest thing in the fucking world. Him and Kid Rock were.
He said, how many of y'all like in sync? Bro, like what? He ain't care, bro.
Okay, so in the documentary, obviously I was 9 years old. Woodstock 99.
Facts,
So I
yeah,
don't
I
I didn't
was-
know anything about it until a few years ago, like G said. And I was just blown away. Watching like the clips and shit.
Well, you know me, bro. I was 10 and I was tuned in to
It was on
the-
pay per view. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they did. But like on MTV was they like showed the interviews on MTV. You know what I'm saying?
Of, like, the artists and shit? Yeah.
Like after they interviewed them, they would show. There was because I remember I forgot the black chick name that was there. She's actually on the documentary on Netflix, but her and there's an older white guy that was that was doing interviews.
Talking about Rosie Perez.
Yeah. That was in White Man Can't Jump.
No,
Rosie Perez was there, and they were like telling her to show her tits.
Yeah, she was in White Man
Well,
Can't
yeah,
Jump.
She's like, I ain't showing you
I
shit.
ain't showing you shit.
But I can't think of the girl that was interviewing people. But yeah, they was setting it off on there. She said she was ready to go out there and smack somebody, bro.
Oh, I bet, yeah. They're acting crazy, bro.
I don't think we spent enough time on like the nudity and like the sexual assault.
Well, there was a lot of
Speaking
assaults.
of that, isn't that like I think this is from the documentary, but like Girls Gone Wild, like when that was
Yes,
a
that
big
was from the
pay-per-view
documentary.
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
they
like
talk about
so
that
like
on
this was like a time of like I mean you have it now,
Sexualizing women.
Right.
Well, it got bad during that rave.
but it wasn't even. I don't even think it was sexualizing women. I think it was women empowering themselves to like look, this is me. I'm
Yeah,
free,
I
I
can
can
do
be
that.
free. Like we're human. Like I'm allowed to be naked. Right.
But it's crazy. They didn't expect the disrespect.
oh, absolutely not.
You feel me? Like,
I mean,
and then because you could see some girls getting their tits grabbed, and it's like they're looking
as
like,
they're crowd surfing, dudes are groping them and stuff.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like one of the artists, I
It was
think,
Offspring.
Offspring.
yeah,
Yeah.
says something like don't be a fucking weirdo, which
Yeah.
is like, I mean,
Facts.
props to him, man.
Told him to
Yeah, yeah.
Be a weirdo.
Grab their dick and twist it.
it's crazy, bro.
Grab his dick and twist it! Oh my god, dude, this is an MMA fight, dude! You twist that dick! Twist his dick! Twist his dick! Oh my god. Oh, dick twist!
So during the rave, to talk about it, during the rave, they had took that the truck, whatever truck that was either outside the venue or in the venue, whatever, they had hijacked it,
Oh,
brought
yeah,
it
that was Sunday.
brought it inside, and they had to stop playing the music and said, we're not going on until you get this truck up out of there. Mm-hmm. And they opened the doors, bro, and it's a girl that had just got done being raped in there, bro. It was in there getting raped the whole time. That this
There
truck
was
is
multiple.
No, I was gonna say, do we have like a
Yeah.
like a stat on
They
that?
said it at the end of it. It was
Yes,
there was a bunch of cases that came out of it. and
oh, bro, a whole bunch
there
of
was
rape
there was a
cases.
lady that did like a help like a hotline
Yeah, she
type
started
thing, and she said she had like hundreds.
And this
of
was like years
emails.
later, right?
Bro,
Like,
some girls was
letters.
Bro,
Yeah.
some girls was getting
Passed.
raped so bad they were literally passed out after it
I
happened.
mean, dude,
like, bro,
It's
that's
fucking bizarre.
crazy.
It's bizarre. Like I said, like earlier in the show, like the security was non-existent. Like
Yeah.
you could put on, like a dude said, he was like, I could have worked 24 hours straight, 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
Like, because there was just no security there.
well,
and
these people took a 3-hour class just to.
Yeah, they were just there for the free ticket.
I mean, yeah.
Let's just talk about what it was.
But
Limp Bizkit
they were, just one more thing. I seen the security said that they were scared too when they seen the look in people's eyes after these drugs hit their system. You feel me? Like,
dude, I can't.
Oh, you got a bunch. Those are dangerous.
Like
people.
zombies,
all
like
those
zombies.
people,
I've been
all
there,
those
dude.
guys, they were dangerous that weekend.
Oh, they were.
It was almost like a tribal thing the whole weekend. It was like you see like one, you see a small group doing it, and then it just grows and grows and grows, and eventually you have a full blown riot by the end of the weekend.
It's like, how do you stop that? You know what I mean? Like,
And
Perfect storm, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I mean, this was during the time like Columbine was fresh.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the first time in our history that something like that had happened. You know, it was a weird time, dude. And then Limp Bizkit comes out.
This
and
is
then-
Saturday night.
Saturday night,
Yeah.
you know, and the tension's there. People covered in shit.
yeah.
Water's $4 a bottle. Let's
Must.
let all of that
Drinking
sit
for
a
2 days
second.
straight.
Drinking for 2 days straight
coming
on ecstasy.
on and off of drugs. Like,
All-
just like, dude.
And the sun is just right there. I
my
remember
gosh,
people
bro.
saying it was so hot you were cold.
Yeah.
You were getting
Yeah, they're getting
hypothermia.
hypothermia. Yeah, because
Like-
that's what happens when you're in those big groups like that. There's no oxygen because everybody's breathing up all the oxygen that like I've been at like we went to Wiz at White River down in Indy, bro, and people were dropping like flies because it was like 100 degrees. Everybody there's smoking, so there's no oxygen on top of the smoke. And people,
right.
bro, I'm
Wow.
telling you, bro, you just look around and people are just.
Well, it's crazy we're talking about this because it was some part of the documentary that dude talks about it being like a hive mind, right? So it's like
Oh,
as
yeah,
the
yeah,
whole
it's that
crowd's
tribal
moving,
shit.
it's like you can't like do nothing but
Oh,
move
yeah, yeah,
with the
move.
crowd
Yeah, yeah.
and like
It's moving you, yeah.
yeah, because it's like you have no control because you're now part of this like big organism that just like these 400,000 people that are getting crazy.
Yeah, so Limp Bizkit comes out and he pretty much does like a little prelude to break stuff. He's
Well,
like,
and also before they went on, they told him like, "Hey, you need to calm this shit down.
Yeah.
Try to calm the crowd down."
Good luck telling the #1 artist in the world to calm the fucking crowd down.
But like shout out to him, he kind of does. So like if I can get this right, it's not word for word, but he literally says like, hey, like if you have like bad energy, like let that shit out. If you got a problem with your girlfriend, with me, like let that shit go. Like
Did
we're
he
here
mean that, or was he going like the opposite way?
I
with
think
it,
he
though?
was
Like,
going.
Yeah,
let that shit out like rage
think
right
about
now
what
and
he
go
said.
nuts,
But
bro.
the song is called "Break Stuff."
Break stuff. Yeah, he said it
Like,
before that
but I
song.
think he's using it as like an artist, like for like an expression, right? Like I don't think he's like meaning that in a malicious way, like obviously, okay, again, I know it's
I
called
don't think
break
a
stuff.
person on fucking crack or fucking X is going to take it that way. They're going to take it as we're going to climb up on the fences.
How much crack you think was getting smoked?
So much crack.
Crack though? I feel like it was probably like acid,
Crack, acid,
bro,
and
you
obviously
I think
had
ecstasy.
weed, but it ain't-
I'm sure there was some crack smoke there.
was
but
so
I'm sure
much
there
crack
wasn't just
there,
like zombie. Like I don't think it was zombie land out there.
But yeah, he comes out. He serenades the crowd. He's like,
They do this
what-
long intro into
long
break
intro,
stuff.
and then it's just one of those days, and the fucking crowd just you
Goes
just see
nuts.
a pan
Yeah.
on pay per view, just going crazy, crazy, and. When I say going crazy, I'm talking fucking Planet of the Apes crazy. Like
for real.
like the animals are coming out of the cage,
Yeah.
and they're just releasing it. Did Corn went on before Limp Bizkit, right?
Corn was Friday night.
Okay, so can we talk about Corn
Corn
shit
was
real
Friday
quick?
night,
Corn was crazy.
So shout out Facebook for blocking my fucking video. Did you watch the video that I made?
Hold on.
I made it.
Before we go to this, let's
Oh,
talk
but-
about the Insane Clown Posse thing that I just
So
found.
I didn't see this on the documentary.
I didn't
He
see
said
that.
No, they didn't bring it up at all, but I just saw it on online. They actually said that the Insane Clown Posse was one of the first signs of like mayhem there at the whole festival. They played Friday night before George Clinton went on, I believe, and I guess they were throwing $100 bills into the crowd, and it was just like mayhem. People literally fist fighting for the money, like people getting slammed, like all type of crazy shit. So like. Day one, that was the first
dangerous.
thing. Yeah. Dangerous, bro. Dangerous.
When water's $4 a bottle, we didn't bring no money.
Bro,
I'm
I'm like
gonna
trying
throw
to, like,
Throwing Christmas hams to starving people.
I'm trying to like sneak 100 and then I'm out.
I'm about to go get 10 bottles of water, bud.
Corn was it was I liked when they came in though, bro. It was
I made a
crazy how they
fucking
was.
fire teaser video, dude, and they blocked it because they said it was
Sony,
copyright.
shout out Sony.
Well, and he talks about it. What's the lead singer's name? I can't remember his name. He's But he actually talks, because he's in the documentary a lot.
Yeah.
He talks about how he went so hard in that performance that after he came off stage, he actually passed out.
blacked out,
He
yeah.
blacked out and fell down, and they had to like get him an IV and shit to get him back
Yeah,
up.
he was so pumped up. He was just like, look, he was like, not everybody out there knows our music. I'm just gonna go out there and fucking kill it. And the fucking da-na-na-na from fucking Blind.
Yeah,
comes
that shit
on.
was crazy.
They let that shit run out for like 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Da-na-na-na, just amping it. And he said there was so many fucking people there, so they had 3 different sound systems.
Yeah.
So the sound travels.
Sound stages, yeah.
And when he goes, "Are you ready?" the fucking crowd hears it in parts. So that's why it jumps like that.
Yeah.
And it just goes insane, dude.
Yeah,
it
they
gives
had
me
it, bro.
chills just talking about it.
Bro,
You
when you
literally said that, and I was like, man, that would have been amazing.
I've heard that
Yeah.
song live
Yeah.
and seeing people jump there, I can't imagine.
Imagine
Oh,
something
that's
like
what he
that.
said.
Half a
So he
million
said he
people.
said to have a crowd in your hands like that.
Yeah, he just had it.
just-
Had
Just
it.
power. Like,
Yeah. God, dude. And
Like,
then
that shit was crazy.
Just
So a
adrenaline
whole nother
from
day
that.
of drinking later, we got Limp Bizkit on stage. They're playing break stuff. I don't know if you
No
guys have ever
energy
heard the
for
song.
that, bro. Like, where's the energy come from with this shit?
Go play break stuff if you've never heard it. But
and then just factor in everything that was said.
so speaking of those sound stages that are out in the crowd, in the middle of them playing break stuff, which is literally what the song's about, go break some shit.
Releasing.
They're tearing these sound stages apart. They're ripping any piece of plywood apart that they can find. I think at one point Fred Durst actually goes out into the crowd and gets on one of the pieces
yeah, it
of
was like-
plywood.
yeah,
He
and
starts
it's
looking out in the
performing.
crowd and he's like, I dig that fucking plywood flying through the crowd. He's like pumping them up.
Yeah.
Pumping them up.
So they're literally just breaking everything during this song, and
Aren't they like breaking like memorial pieces and shit?
Bro,
People that
they were
like,
breaking
paint,
everything.
people
out
painted
there.
whatever
Yeah.
for over.
Oh
the
yeah, they
weekend.
tore all that shit down. They painted. I think they said it like the beginning of the documentary. They painted like 500 yards of like murals and shit all the way down. Tore all that shit down. All of it got tore down. The fences
Can you
were
imagine
down.
the cleanup of that place?
Oh,
after-
and they
At the start of
you just
the
throw
documentary,
that
bro.
whole
is-
lot away.
Yeah, literally.
So before I get to the cleanup, because that's going to come right after this, they did an interview. Obviously, you said that with Fred Durst after the fact, and they're like, "What do you like? Why did you do this? Or what do you think was the cause of this?" He's like, "Bro, it wasn't our fault." He's like, "It wasn't our fault. These people were ready to go."
And that's why I said what
Yeah,
I
they were
said,
prepped
where
when
I
that
don't
happened,
think
bro.
he was like malicious towards it. It was just his way of like,
He's performing.
Well, it was his.
That's
It was
part
his.
of the show.
It was his version of what the lead singer of Korn did. Like Korn knew they were about to jump.
Oh, yeah,
and
for sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
he knew it. For
sure.
Like he knew it.
Before you go to cleanup, though, we can't mow over who I think made the dumbest decision of the weekend in the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
So that was that.
That was Sunday.
after.
It was Sunday
that
night.
It was Sunday night.
That's what started the absolute mayhem that led to the police being called there in droves. And
Was that when Buddy was that when the guitarist was on there like ass naked, bro?
Yeah,
He's known for
he
doing
does
that.
that shit.
He's known for
He
doing
does
that.
that shit a lot.
Yeah, they had, later that night at Limp Bizkit, they had like Riot Against the Machine.
Bro,
it was just
shit was
feeling.
crazy.
Just got his meat in the back of his guitar, bro.
Sunday morning, they had like a press conference of like a general press conference, and the guy that was running it was like talking to people, and the guy come up and said like, "Look, this is bad.
Yeah.
Like everything that's going on is fucking bad right now." And the guy, he was like,
He snapped on him.
He
bro.
was like, NFL stadiums clean up in 3
Yeah.
hours, and
Yeah.
we can't get clean drinking water. And he was like, "Well, I'll come up and I'll pay you $1,000 an hour if you can do it better."
He said my crew could do it, and then that's when the dude like snaps on him. He's like, "All right, we'll get the fuck up here. We'll go ahead. We'll take your lead. You
He
do
said,
it."
yeah, he said, "I'll pay you $1,000." He was like, "There's people out there working their ass off." So it was just bad. It was all bad.
Yeah.
All bad.
Well, imagine when you lose security at that point, you're just like
Yeah, bro. I mean,
relying on people that have no
That have good
security.
hearts.
Like, yeah, they're people that are they're running the show. Like, I mean,
So-
it just all fell apart.
bro,
There was
security
so
was
many-
scared to go out there playing
yeah. Oh,
different type of
Bro,
occasions.
what would you think when you fucking walk past fucking a bunch of people painted red, got the trash cans turned upside down,
drum
playing
on 'em
drums
for
on it, bro.
hours, for a day
Playing
straight.
drums
man,
on
am I
it.
still tripping or?
Like, where
Right.
am I at
What the
right
hell?
now?
Dangerous.
Like, so you got all the trash cans dumped over, drums and shit. No trash cans.
People
Yeah,
passed out.
Trash
everywhere.
going everywhere.
Yeah. Sunday night, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
I will go in. So there was like a nonprofit organization there. Okay, that was handing out candles for a vigil because of Columbine High School because
Yeah.
it just happened. So, they thought they were going to, sit and have a powwow, candlelight vigils, blow them out like 94 and 69, peace and love, bro.
Right. No.
Think
what happened.
about
the
it.
whole
You got a
opposite
guy
of that.
painted red fucking banging on drums. He's
Right.
not going to go light a fucking candle for Columbine. Shout out Columbine.
And bro, how many stages? Let's be exact. How many stages were there?
There were
were
three
like-
main
Three.
stages, I
Three
think.
main stages.
So,
and,
bro,
and that was another part of the problem. They were like all almost a mile away from each
say
other.
it was all, like-
So it was like
they were all
walking
packed
on
with
top of
people,
seeing
bro.
shit. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and then think of the traveling you have to do. Like, oh, I'm gonna go see Ice Cube here, but I want to go see Metallica and them over here. Like,
yeah,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is crazy.
And that's the thing about the Lincoln Park Limp Bizkit performance. You had all them stages, but everybody that was there to see Limp Bizkit, so they came
right there, yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
and it was just insane.
Yeah.
Sunday night, Red Hot Chili Peppers performs. There's already a little bit of fire going on, just a little bit. Like
and
Brie.
they tell him the same thing. They
They
tell, the
tell
lead singer.
him. They tell him, hey, if you can do us a favor, try to get these little fires under control. And he's like, got it. Opening song, Firestarter.
Yeah, like it was good, bro.
Opening song's Firestarter. Place goes up in flames.
in flames, literally.
In flames. Disaster.
Big fires, like
Disaster.
And then they just, I think the last person to perform was like Megadeth, and it was just like,
Metallica was there, but I don't know if they were the last to perform.
no, it was Megadeth were the last ones to perform. Metallica, I think, was
Might have been Saturday night
Saturday
after-
during the day, maybe.
Yeah.
Because Limp Bizkit was like as the sun was going down, and then Red Hot Chili Peppers was like late. I'm pretty sure Sunday.
Yeah.
And then Megadeth went right after them. But it was like all the mayhem was going on away from the stages at this point. All the fucking cops come.
Still have the 24-hour raves going on.
Yeah, it was crazy weekend, perfect storm. I mean,
bad.
there's no other way to explain it other than that. Man.
There hasn't been a Woodstock since.
no.
That was
He actually
one.
tried to have one in 2019 or 2020, I think, but it got canceled last minute. So
Probably because of
You
COVID
seen
or something.
if you seen the documentary, the original guy that started the Woodstock stuff he's the one that told the story, and he died a couple months after they made that documentary
I didn't
on
know
that.
that.
Yeah, if
See,
you
that
watch
might-
if
it
you
might
watch
have been
the,
like some health issues or something.
yeah, if you
because he
watch
tried
the
to do
whole
another
thing
one.
toward the end, before the credits and stuff come up, it says that he died like a couple months after
After
that
they did
actual
that.
documentary they did. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
crazy. Yeah,
What do we think went wrong with this? Like, what do we think
I think-
contributed to just the disaster?
Nothing.
Like, it was
mean,
like
I think
Day
everybody.
one, the water issue probably just made it to where everything just went downhill from there.
someone called it the best disaster they've ever been to.
Well, yeah, I don't think nothing went wrong.
3 people died.
3 people did die.
Lots of sexual assault cases. Lots
I
of
just
rape
think
cases.
like
Lots of sexual assault cases.
as like humans that again have emotions and like
That's where I was about to
that
say.
have
but I'm
like
glad you said that.
anxieties,
Primal,
fears,
very primal.
happiness, joy, all these things.
Everybody's coming from actual reality life outside of this festival.
right, and that's
We're bringing
your
it here.
escape, and it's like that's just
Yeah.
like too many people.
Yeah, and just think of the
Facts,
age
facts.
demographic. You're 18 to 25. Those are very,
fucking
very,
angry.
very
Dangerous.
different
Going
times.
through shit, bro.
You're going through a lot of shit.
But it's like you
Whether
can't
it's-
even like. I was thinking like there's too many people there, right? But you can't even cap it. Like say you're like if you were gonna do a Woodstock in 2024, right? You can't say oh we're only gonna have a 100,000 people limit because then it's like
Yeah.
can you really do that?
Yeah. And the venue seemed like a lock. Like where else? I mean, you had the
Where you
one
gonna find
in,
something that big?
94. It was perfect, and it's just like that's where I like. I think it really was like the water issue because it's like what happens at that point. Like imagine if the weekend you still have the water, the free water supplies for everybody. You don't have people rolling around and shit. Then you don't have people tearing the porta potties down. Like I don't know. I think you just had one major issue that turned into an even bigger problem as a
I
whole.
think that water issue was so bad. I mean,
People stay hydrated. I mean,
Yeah, but do you
on
think
drugs,
that's
on
gonna,
alcohol.
you think that's gonna stop the
No, I
the
think you're
rapes
still gonna
and the
have
destruction?
No. There's
There were-
too many people there.
there were only 3
Not enough security.
Yeah, there were only
Absolutely.
3 female artists that performed, and the ironic thing was they had each female artist
On
perform
one
on a
day.
different day. Like it was Alanis Morissette, Sheryl Crow, and someone else. I
And
can't
it was
remember.
like the people that they weren't like actual like rock music. It was
No,
almost
it
like
was
a
so
alternative
fucking
weird.
rock, like soft.
Yeah, I fucked
Soft
with Alanis
rock.
Morissette.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Jewel
Speaking of her,
I
performed.
grew up to that shit.
But if you go from Alanis Morissette to Korn,
Right, they're like get the
like,
fuck
you
off the
can't-
stage,
You
bro.
can't put fucking Mayhem Festival with fucking
Right.
Coachella.
Right.
Bro. It's you're gonna have some pissed off motherfuckers.
Right, and that's
Nah, for real.
Like,
that was the
piss
vibe.
off
Like
motherfuckers.
Jewel talked about it in her interview. It's like the vibe was just off when I went on stage. It was like, how do I captivate these people that are drunk, dehydrated, hot? Like ready to rage, and I'm
the
coming
girls
out
that
here.
I'm there performing for are fucking crowd surfing, getting their titties grabbed.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not a concert that Jewel fucking hosts, bro.
Yeah.
Well, like we talked about earlier too, you have one artist that has the whole crowd in the palm of their hands, right? And then it's like, how do you
They
follow?
were all
up?
popular.
How do you top
too,
that?
though. It wasn't such a weird thing. It's a weird thing looking back. It's like a hindsight thing because all those artists were popular. Alanis Morissette was
Creed.
selling out at that point. Jewel's selling out. She's one of the biggest artists at that point. Like it's not weird that they're on the. But it is now looking back. It's like, why do you put them there?
Creed
at
was
the
like the
moment,
biggest
it's
band
Like you said too,
There's
it's
never a concert with that type of
you're not thinking
musical
it.
differences. you
Well, it's
know?
a vibe thing. So right, so like we're listening to rock. Like
No, that's
somebody
facts.
puts country on, I'm gonna be fucking furious. I'm gonna be like, what?
Oh, especially if I'm on drugs.
Right, but
So
they,
like, I'm
they,
listening
all
to
ha-
hip
they
hop
also
and then
had some
somebody puts
hip
rock
hop.
on, I'm gonna be like,
Exactly.
They also had some hip hop artists, so there was kind of a mixture. George Clinton was there. That's from the
think it was
Parliament,
just like
bro.
a
That's
weird
straight
mixture.
funk. Like Wyclef was there, so there was a mixture. There was just too much of that.
right. It was too
Too many
like,
people there to
convoluted.
see that one demographic, that
A
one type
lot
of music, that
people
one
there-
genre.
A lot of people there were there for Limp Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit,
Kid
Corn,
Rock.
those type of
Korn
dudes.
and all
like,
them. Yeah, for sure.
They weren't there. It wasn't a group of hip hop fans or a group
Exactly.
of Alanis Morissette.
And that's what I'm saying. Could you imagine if there was hip hop fans in there too, bro?
Kid Rock came out
Like,
and said,
not saying there wasn't, but I'm just
Motherfuckers
saying
would
it
have
was-
left, bro.
Yeah.
They'd be like, these white
Rock
people
came
crazy.
out
We
and
gotta
said-
fuck home, bro.
Kid Rock came out and said before he performed, he was like, "Look, this is where I stand on my political beliefs." It was like, Monica Lewinsky's a fucking hoe, and Bill Clinton's a pimp.
That motherfucker.
Fucking insane. But I mean,
Do you think Bill Clinton did it?
oh, for sure, bro.
Oh yeah,
Shut up, BC.
Man,
she was in there glucking him up.
Gluck, gluck,
the
gluck.
forever history that will forever be talked about.
Woodstock 99, beautiful but very, very ugly.
Yeah.
3 people passed away. One was hypothermia. Another one, I think
there was an overdose. One of them
was an overdose, and I think
It's
one,
like trample, right? Like,
I think one might have got trampled. I can't remember.
I think another thing we need to touch on, kind of related to this, is maybe what was the Travis Scott incident? Was it what was the
Astro Festival or some shit like that.
Was the concert, the
Bro,
tour?
we gotta do
Yeah,
that.
we'll go over that one too. I was thinking of that when we first started because I was thinking of like
Same
when you
type-
started talking about the hive mind, like how the crowd was just
Same
moving
type of
itself.
shit.
Like same shit, bro.
Next episode, all on who I think is the greatest rapper to ever live. Mr. Juice. Mr. Juice. Thank you guys.
Thanks for listening.
Peace out.